Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is E, and I am CEO and co-founder of Flutterwave. And at Flutterwave, we're building technology and infrastructure that will power digital commerce across Africa. Now, all of us here in this room are here because we know that the digital economy is very quickly becoming the global economy. And Amazon is proving that to us every day by kicking everybody's ass. But the big problem is that the future of the world is really in Africa, because over the next 20 years, more than half of the world's working population will live and work in Africa. It has some of the fastest growing economies in the world. And we adopt technology much faster than you guys here. And yet, it is unfairly excluded from the global economy. Every year, $380 billion in digital payments flow through Africa. But then the challenge is that less than 1% of these payments go through credit cards or debit cards. We simply don't use them. And less than 4% of merchants are able to accept digital payments, even though they do make payments using digital. Now, the big problem has been that the landscape is just incredibly fragmented. And merchants have to choose and make bets about what payment method they need to accept, whether it's their bank account, whether it's their mobile wallet, whether it's one of several expensive card or network solutions, whether they should work with payment service providers. And integrating with all these things just saps out time and energy from merchants, who should simply be focused on selling goods and making money. And that's where we come in. Flutterwave is simplifying digital payments for Africa. We make it possible for merchants across Africa to be able to simply accept any form of payment that shows up at the till. Whether it's mobile wallets, whether it's payments from over 500 financial institutions, whether it's from the card networks, and even across various African countries. We've taken all these multiple payment types, channels, integrations, and turned it into a single API, which can be pushed in via any channel, accept any payment instrument, and work via any interface. We started a year ago, and to date, we've processed over $1 billion in transactions. And we work for everybody, from Access Bank, which is one of Africa's largest banks, to the telcos, to some global ride-sharing companies you might know. The way our infrastructure works is that we've built an API with a hosted gateway that is basically packaged and enables the processing of any payment type and ensures everything goes directly into the merchant's bank account. And we also have a very flexible API that enables the customer to present their payment method of choice via any channel they want, whether it's POS, whether it's through agents, whether it's through a web or mobile app, or USSD or ATMs. And then what's really exciting about what we're doing is that in Africa, there are 500 banks, just 500. But 350 of these 500 banks belong to a banking network. It means that they are owned by a parent group. And what we're doing is bringing together these banking networks. We're enabling them to be able to process payments across Africa. And by the time we're done, Africa is going to be a country. We're growing our Pan-African and global network, enabling payments into and out of Africa from several points. Now I want to talk about performance. We've grown ridiculously fast. As a favorite author of mine says, in the jungle, you have to build really fast, and that's what we've been doing. Last month, we processed a quarter of all the payments we've processed. And we're also growing very fast on the transaction count, processing over 10 million transactions over the last year. And the most important thing is revenue. We're growing revenue very fast. We're a profitable company, and we've grown revenue over $3.1 million in revenue since we started. The most important thing is that we're safe. We're a safe option. We enable payments with all the certifications, and we are even licensed by the Central Bank of Africa's largest economy. And we're not stopping there. We're scaling very fast. Over the next few months, we're going to be scaling into Francophone Africa and other West African countries. Now, we are the Navy SEAL of payments in Africa. Our team is made up of experienced people who've worked for global payment companies, but also some of Africa's largest banks. And we're backed by some of the best technology and fintech companies, as well as investors in Silicon Valley. I'd like to end on this note, which is that divided, Africa is weak, but united, Africa could be one of the greatest forces for good in the world, and also a driving force for the future. Thank you.